So we've pieced together a bunch of video footage from a gate drop in Arkansas where we trapped 22 hogs, and we're fortunate enough to be able to bring two groups together at the same time. It's a really difficult task. It works, but it takes a lot of effort. We didn't seem to be able to find the footage from like, hey, we're getting ready to head to Arkansas. We don't know where it's at. We've looked and we've looked. So you're gonna watch this, then you're gonna jump right into literally like our first night in Arkansas. Things aren't going well. And then from the rest of the course, it transitions pretty smoothly. Our apologies, but we're trying to run a business. We're not trying to run an entertainment company. So somewhere is an SD card with video footage here in the shop, and hell, I don't know, I can't find it. Zeb can't find it, so we're just going to do this and let it roll. So that being said, here comes Arkansas, and I think y'all are going to enjoy this video. It's long, but it is well worth the watch, in my opinion, to see two groups come together. Big old boar, Arkansas boar, giving a Jagger Pro trap hell, man. I mean, he gave it hell, but it survived. So enjoy the video. Okay, so it's about 4:30 in the morning on, let's see, we left on Monday. Today is Tuesday now. Our first group normally comes in around 8:30 at night. And last night, the biggest one in the group of 8 came in shortly after we got here, but wasn't acting quite right. A little skittish, which was unusual. Normally they're just very relaxed, calm, and it was just 1-1-1. Watched till about 10:30, and it was just like 1-2, 1-2, back and forth. And then probably about 11, 7 were in, but 1 was missing. So it's hard after driving 10 hours to not go ahead and flip the switch, right? Because you got 7, but we didn't have our group, which is 8. So we opted not to flip the switch. It was really hard, a lot of self-control. So around 2 a.m., our second group came in, but basically we were out of corn. So did not drop on them because they were all over the trap, in the trap, out of the trap. Kind of a hot mess. So we are up. It's 4:30. We're going to try to do a little duck hunting this morning with our landowner and friend, and then reboot the system and give it another try tonight. Very frustrating. Been watching these two groups for at least a week now. They're very, very good, locked on. So tired, but we're going to reboot the system and give it another try this evening. All right, we are here at the trap. Brought Big Girl back here. Big Girl's the dually. Very muddy here. Man, I mean, it was a little stressful coming in. A lot easier in the Tacoma. So duck hunted this morning. Didn't really have any luck. Beautiful scenery. Good time. Had to run to town and get some supplies. But we're here at the trap. We clearly have some hog problems here. We've got one group that we're trying to trap, another group that's coming in. They're basically just hanging on top of the trap. So we've got a few strategies we're going to try here. We're actually going to add an additional camera to the system so we can kind of see a little bit of a blind side over here. I'm going to swing the camera around to show you the amount of like just a mud bog in here, and it just stinks to high heaven. We are going to put a lot of corn on the ground. Don't recommend a heavy bait, but we got two groups that we think we might be able to pull at the same time. So what we have basically is one group is using the trap, and we can see with our ice camera that the other group is literally just kind of hanging over here, right over there in the woods. And so the plan is to put enough corn on the ground that maybe, in this little bit of what we call a blind corner, for this additional group that might ease in there, and we're going to have to catch that with another camera. Now, if that doesn't work, the first group will get their belly full, they will leave, which is what we need, then the second group will come in. Tactics. So we've kind of done this before, and the hard part is we're 700 miles from home, we're on a limited time schedule, and we want to trap hogs and not educate hogs. So that's the hard part. All right, so we're going to spin you around. So as you can see, we are dealing with a very, very muddy trap, full of tons of hog sign, coons all over the place. Big girl is very, very muddy. Actually had to use four-wheel drive coming in. So all that being said, got the Razorback hog cutter going. So we're going to do our normal maintenance. And then we'll kind of give you another shot of what we're doing. We're going to add another camera to the pole up here. And it's been a while since we've done that, but that's why we carry extra cameras. So hang on. Okay, so we are wrapping up here at the trap. For you in TV land, we are breaking a lot of rules today. And you'd be like, well, why are you doing that? Because sometimes you gotta break a few rules to get the job done. You typically do not want to be anywhere near a trap when you're getting ready to flip the switch. But our landowner friend has been coming in here for the last week, pushing out about 100 pounds of corn a day, because it's two big groups, okay? So human scent, they're used to it. Now, they may not be used to everything that we did today, but we had to do what we had to do. So we added a third camera. We changed the camera angle. We're feeding a little bit differently, and we put a lot of corn on the ground. You want a sense of urgency with your traps. You want these hogs to think that there's no chance they're going to get to eat, and they come rushing in. The problem is we've got two groups, and we're trying to get them to join. Not an easy task at all, but we've done this. Largest escape drop we ever did in Georgia was 54. Did another one in Georgia, 45. Those were two groups joining at the same time. So it is doable. Generally, a fight's going to break out when they join. And you watch this pattern. So you got to be pretty quick, okay? Ideally, probably if we could have ran a live video down here, it would have been the best choice. Cell service is a little tough here. So we opted just to go with the texting camera. And so we're running two ice cameras and one mine texting camera. So I'm going to spin you around, show you what we did, kind of give you an idea, and then we got to get the hell out of here, get Big Girl, Mud Bog back to camp, and get ready for tonight. So as you can see, we've got typical, Jaeger Pro ice camera running the gate. All right. Now you can see right here, all right, they're coming in that way. And then if you look back this way, there's actually a little trail that way too. Now, last night when we were watching the group, okay, in there, we were watching the group, you could actually see the second group stacked up here waiting. Probably there's some social issues. They may not join, but they may not join because we were pretty much baiting right in line with the mine camera, as you can see from down here where I'm at. So what we did, outside the box a little bit, is we mounted a camera up here off this tree, and that camera is looking down here. All right, now you'll see that we would never normally bait that far over. We're going to stay more in that range there. We baited over here, pulling them towards the back of the trap, but off to what we call like a blind corner, a corner that we can't normally see real well with the mine texting camera. Is that a hell of a lot of corn? It's a hell of a lot of corn. Our thought process is here, worst case scenario, the first group comes in, they eat till they get their bellies full, and then they're gone. We don't see them again until the next night. If they go, then we'll take that second group and not contaminate, educate, all the above that first group. So the first group will leave, probably head that way to some serious acreage. The second group comes in and feed. We flip the switch, fast response time. We come in, do our business, reset the system. So hopefully that makes sense. So that's pretty much it. Just kind of give you an idea of what we're doing. Had to trim a few limbs, and you may think that it's not a big deal for limbs. It is a big deal. You get a limb like this with your IR, your infrared, when that flash goes off, it kind of distorts things. So the plan would be is hopefully this will give these hogs enough comfort that both groups will join. And this is why the size of a trap is critical to trapping. If you're running a small system, in our opinion, you've got problems. 33-foot in diameter trap. We've taken a Jägerbro trap and made it 18 panels versus 12 panels. It's a big trap. Size matters, not to be funny, but it really does. And so it's a comfort level for both of those groups to join. And if that happens tonight, if we get the hint of that, we're going to flip the switch and take them both out. Again, it's a lot of corn, but we have a strategy. Running a camera the opposite angle, like it looks like we got two mine cameras going. So this is what we love about trapping, is the strategy. So I need to shut up, get on the road and get out of here, and pray that our human scent isn't a problem. Okay, it's about 10 p.m. Here in Arkansas. Just got up from a 3-hour nap. Zeb's been watching the cameras. We did drop just a few minutes ago. I'm going to throw a disclaimer out there that I am really tired. We dropped 4 gates last week in Georgia. Got up, drove 10 hours Monday morning, got here to Arkansas, stayed up most of the night, Monday night, Tuesday night, and now it's Wednesday night. So I figured out when I'm tired at the age of 56, crap comes out of my mouth that probably shouldn't come out. So this is the real deal, in our opinion. This is hog trapping for real. Some of the stuff that I take the time out to see a brief glimpse that's out there in TV land, I don't think it's that real. I think it's entertainment. This is trapping so hard and trying to get it right, trapping intelligently, 700-mile trip, trying to make sure we get the whole group. We got 2 groups using the trap. It's just been a mess. Feel pretty good with our drop. Our big monster boar that was with the what we call the first group, not the second group, he split from a group of 7 and went to our second group. He's a handful. A serious handful. We'll be able to show it, but he moved our panels, and that's not a big deal in the Jägerpro world for us. We'll see hogs move panels, meaning they're hitting them so hard that they kind of change the design of the trap, and that's what we want. We want the trap to breathe and flex, but he moved it, and he basically hit it so hard that he's moved it to where when we're looking at our camera that drops the gate, we're seeing a panel now. So we haven't seen that in a while. We did a 400-acre high fence. Had some monster 450, 500-pound hogs, and they would move our panels. Turned one into a banana one night, and that was pretty cool. But anyway, so yeah, we had water heaters broke here at our buddy's camp. Not a big deal. It's not been hot, but have not taken a shower since. This is just way too much information, but since Sunday night. So I told Zeb just a few minutes ago, I'm like, man, I really want a shower. So we are going to load up in our buddy's Polaris. We're going to head back. It's probably 45 degrees. I'm already freezing. And we're going to put them down, go in with the thermals, do everything we normally do. The road has just gotten so muddy. The 1-ton dually we're going to be asking for a big tow truck, so we don't want that. So we're running the Polaris, and we're getting to load up and head back. And so, and like I said, in our opinion, this is real trapping, and but we're getting it done. So get a little boost of energy and put these hogs down and hopefully get some halfway decent footage. But I got to get moving. So y'all out there in TV land, hang on, because I think this one's going to be pretty interesting, especially with Big Boy. He's going to be problematic for us, but we've dealt with problems before. All right, here we go. Yeah. All right, we are about, I'd say, a half mile to 3/4 of a mile from the trap. Brought the Polaris from the cabin. It's not bad walking. I'm going to get out here to an open field and kind of skate along with the thermal. Zeb's going to stay here with the Polaris. You can tell it's cold. I'd say it's probably about 45, 40 degrees. We can actually hear the hogs. So some of you may be wondering like what's going through my head right now. Big hog like this can be very problematic putting him down. We don't really up our guns It's just about getting in there and getting good strategic shot. Once you get him down, things should calm down. But right now, he's going to keep everything amped up, especially if there's a hot sow in there. And we're just trying to get in there to make sure that there's no other hogs in the area, because we do know there is a second group, but we haven't seen them in 2 nights. So I'm going to ease along the field, get closer, try to give you some good footage. So we're about 600 yards from the trap. Zeb decided to go ahead and come with me, which I'm good going by myself, but love the company. I got an owl over there. The hogs are very vocal. We can hear them. Generally, that's a sign that they're pretty cranked up. And if they're cranked up, it's because of that big boar that's in there, or it could be sometimes a big sow. But he's got them cranked up. The wind is blowing this direction. The trap is that direction. So we're going to kind of cut over through a little food plot here and ease up through a little patch of woods. Been running the thermal. Everything's clean. Nothing's out here. Once we get into the woods, it's going to neck down on us, and then we're going to be basically just about right on top of the trap. A little on the serious side right now, because this is, we're working now, and we're not out here having a good time. But a lot of anxiety, I guess I would say, because for years we've been trapping this property wanting to get a decent group and have just never been able to do it, and tonight's the night. So hang on. You filming? Yeah. Alright, we're about 40 yards from the trap. Everything's been clean. We're in a patch of woods. It's got a little shooting lane in it. You can hear the hogs where he's going to ease up to the gate side and then go to the 22. That's a big hog. Yeah, he's on us. Ready? Alright, we're going to go ahead and ease on up with the 22. Went ahead and grounded the thermal. So just bear with us. We got to just slip up and get some light. They know we're here. Alright, we're fixing to light them up. So you can, yeah, they've been giving the old Jaeger Pro a run for its money. You get a little bit more light.
I got plenty.
You got plenty?
Yeah.
Hey, fellas. Oh, yeah. So it's not uncommon. It's not a promotional speech for Jaeger Pro, but this trap is designed to breathe, and it's breathing. They changed the design of it. We don't care. Easy now, fella. Hey, oh, get out of here. She throw blood on you.
I don't really care if she did.
Alright, we're going to go ahead and shut the camera down because it's getting kind of crazy. And we need to get to work. You good?
Yeah.
Alright, so as you can see, I'm in the trap. Got them all down. It did get ugly there for a little bit in the beginning. Big boy over here, definitely problematic. We knew that going into it. Very, very vocal group of hogs. Very vocal from the get-go. You know, we're not biologists. We don't see a lot of vocalization like that with the hogs. But clearly this group was very vocal. So what we're going to do is, Zeb's doing the filming right now. I'm going to take the camera from him and I'm going to walk around. They completely changed the design of the trap. We're good with that. It's not a promotional speech for Jager Pro, but this machine is a machine. Jager Pro holds together. They beat the living hell out of the system, even though it was dark, but mostly because of this big boy over here. And the system just breathes and moves, and that's what we want. The gate stayed where it's supposed to stay, but everything else changed. So the good news is 22. This was our second group that we've been looking at. There's a first group of 8, but Big Boy left the first group, joined up with this second group. So there's 7 still out there, but the second group was the larger group. I'm not concerned about the second group or the first group coming in here, the group of 7. We made a lot of noise. I mean, I think 6 counties away they could hear hogs yelling. So Zebby's going to give me the camera. I'm going to walk around. We're going to show you the different sexes of them. Just kind of show you what this reproductive cycle is looking like. And then we're going to try to wrap it up because it's cold. All right. So what we ended up with was 10 sows and 12 boars, which is a really good lick. 1 sow definitely pregnant without a doubt. So let's run you by them real quick so you can take a look. We're going to do some footage in the daylight. We're actually going to duck hunt here in a few hours. But we've got a tremendous amount of actually fog. So we got 1 big pregnant sow there. So we got 1 very pregnant sow there. We got all these guys laid up over here. And then we'll do some footage of the gate. You know, these are the things I'm looking at, the structuralness of the gate. You know, we'll show you kind of how we do our T-post there. You can tell they moved it around just by looking at how that T-post is not supposed to, it's supposed to be centered up. But system held up well. Got some guys here. Very muddy. So quite a few, like I said, we've got 12 boars. Definitely a nice sized boar there. Nice sized boar right here. Some more younger ones here. And then we are going to save the best for last. There's the beast. Kind of hard to really tell how big he is. But to give you an example, get back a little bit. Those panels are 8'3" left to right. So you feel that, see the space that he's filling up. Big boy. Very problematic. Pretty decent cutters on him. So it's kind of hard to see, but these panels here are supposed to be in a circle. And they're supposed to be about 3 foot from our big, or not 3 foot, about 1.5 feet. So they've moved, literally, they moved these panels every bit of 3 foot, every bit, this direction. So you can see the size of the trap. It's not round at all. And then if you walk over here, You can see how they pushed this corner in. So they had a corner. You would never want to design a trap with a hard corner like this. Not a good idea. Not a good idea at all. But during the trapping process, it's going to happen at times, especially with a big bore like that. So that being said, everything held together. So 22 hogs in Arkansas, and we fixing to hump it back to the players and wrap it up. Try to do a little duck hunting in the morning. I'm not a duck hunter, but Zebby's trying to be a duck hunter. Too pretty for me. Anyway, so from Arkansas, we are wrapping up, and hope you enjoyed it. All right, we are back here at the camp, at the cabin. So, because we are literally getting up in a couple hours, going to go kind of that direction. Try to do a little early morning duck hunting with a buddy and landowner. Because of that, we just went ahead and left the hogs in the trap. We're going to deal with them at daylight. Be some good footage to kind of show you the hogs better. Show you, literally how they rearranged our trap. Pretty cool. Like I said earlier, it's been a while since we've had one do that. So it's just kind of neat to see how the system can hold up. And imagine if you went there in the daytime, how much worse that would be on the system, on the hogs, eat all the above. I mean, they put a show on and it was dark. On a closing note for tonight, here in a few days, it'll be almost 5 years since I retired. Left a job I absolutely loved. I loved my job. I really did. Retired early, but nights like tonight, like it's like in your brain. I struggled with retirement, but I'm telling you, nights like tonight, that's the junk. For you out there in TV land that your daddies are gone, you get this. They've done punched out. Moments like this with your son in another state and another property, you can't buy that junk. So that being said, awesome night. Okay, we are back here at the hog trap. Did a little duck hunting this morning. Zeb did good. My buddy did good. And I stood behind a cypress tree and froze my butt off. So we're going to take a quick look here and show you how this trap flexed out. Some of you may think that's crazy. We've seen it before, but we want these traps to move and breathe. It contains them. It does all. It's got to give a little bit of give to it. So and then we'll give you a better look at what the hogs look like. All right, so here we go. So you can't really tell, but basically this side, pushed over a bunch, okay? And then we're gonna come over here. That's one big ass hog right there. But if you come over here, all right, typically those panels are 1.5 feet from the big pole, all right? So you look at this. So typically, the panel should be right here, and you're probably at least 3 feet away. So you see how they pushed it that way towards the feeder, and then they pushed off in the corner. Now the gate, the way that we position our gates and the way we tie our gates in, the gates don't have a whole lot of give to them. All right, so we're going to ease down through this little alley. Some of this may have been visible last night. So the way that we do it is, the T-post would typically run up through here. We actually use a big zip tie and Gorilla Tape. And a lot of times we'll see this give. We want it to give. We don't want it to be super rigid. But basically what they did was, as you can see, they shifted the gate to the right, okay? So not a big deal. We're just gonna have to push it back, line it back up. Now, getting into the trap, bear with me. So a little bit better view of the hogs. I think we had, if I remember right, it was 10 sows and 12 boars. Okay. And there's your monster. So again, that panel is 8'3", 8'3" from left to right, 68 inches tall. And he was the one pushing everything around, which he has the right to do because he's so godforsaken big. But gives you a really good idea of how they can move these traps around, especially when you get this big of a hog in here. So we see how we put a nice camera up there in the tree. We were running 3 cameras on this system. Would have been beautiful if we could have been running a live video, but yeah, it is what it is. But this is why when you start looking at some of these things that people do to these boar hogs, where they basically remove the testicles and make them a bar. He's not. He's never had that done, but big hogs like this, very problematic, hard to trap. A lot of social issues come in and just blow everything out. So hopefully this kind of ties it up for you. To kind of see it here in the daylight. We're getting ready to get them out of here. No hogs showed up last night on the outside cameras, nothing. So feel really good about the drop. We do know that that first group, as we called it, which is where the big guy, he was with that first group. There was 8 in that one. So theoretically 7 more. This was our second group. He jumped ship, which is most likely because there was a hot sow in here. So we're not quite done here in Arkansas, but we got to get a move on, get these loaded up, get them out of here. And anyway, good times in Arkansas. So this is our first big drop in Arkansas, 22 hogs. Missouri, we've dropped on 49. These are single gate drops. Georgia, 54 and 45. Florida, 33. So 33 in Florida is our high number. Georgia's 54, Missouri's 49, and 22 here in Arkansas. Not that numbers matter, but it feels pretty good when you can take big groups out like that. So it's been a long go here in Arkansas, years. But trap location, food sources all play into successful trapping. So anyway, we're going to keep at it. So if you've watched enough of our videos, you understand, hopefully by now, we're not out here trying to sell a product. We're not here trying to push something. We're not sponsored. We're not endorsed. If we talk about it, it's because we like it, we love it. We thought it'd be kind of neat to show you a little bit example of how we're going to put this trap back together. And the beauty of the Jaeger Pro is that it's simply 12 panels and a gate and some connecting rods. And we just put it back together. And even though it got pushed around and got beat on by a pissed off big old boar, ain't nothing but a thing. So as you can see, we just start popping the panels apart, and then we're going to start reconstructing it and bringing it back to the way that it should. We've already taken some of the hogs off. Zeb and our buddy taking some of the what we call the smaller ones, but you know, it's really hard to understand or comprehend how big some of these hogs can get, you know, without like a comparison. But that is one really big boar hog. Not the biggest we've ever trapped, but he definitely was special. What I would call special. I mean, man, what a hot mess. And not to get dramatic, but a hog that weighed about 100 pounds more than that kicked the living hell out of me for a good 2 minutes in a trap one early morning. So they're not generally a problem with danger until you confine them or they feel they have no choice, fight or flight syndrome. You know, I'm telling you, I don't get in a trap and not think about it. And that's locked in that little squirrel cage of mine. So turning out to be a beautiful day here in Arkansas, starting to warm up. We need to get the trap put back together, and then we loading up, heading about 3 hours up into Missouri, and going to try to kick back a little bit, do a little bit of bow hunting. Don't care if we shoot anything, see anything, just crawl up in a tree and spend some time with the Lord. And then we're going to put it back in the wind to Georgia, where we have got a solo boar waiting on us. He's finally gotten comfortable and coming in, and we're going to flip the switch. So anyway, We might do a little video when we get done showing you how we put it all back together, but it's pretty simple. Just pop the rods, put them back together, and get your design. Make sure your camera angle's good. We're gonna have to tweak that gate a little bit, and we'll be back and running. So here we go. So as you can see in the background, we've pieced the trap back together. Occasionally rods will get bent. They should get bent. We need things to give, not be like, you know, hitting a brick wall. So we don't have much to work with out here, which is kind of the cool part of the job, at least for us. So you can get the rods, you kind of stick them between trees and bend them back in shape. We've got our design back. We haven't completely tweaked it yet. Now, not uncommon for a really big hog like we're talking about right here to bend a gate. And anybody out there in TV land is like, well, they should build that gate stronger. If the AgriPro built the gate any stronger, you wouldn't be able to lift it. And then what are you going to do if you can't lift a gate? So this is something that we know how to do because we've done it a lot. You have to be careful when you do it, so we don't recommend. That's all of our disclaimers. We don't recommend that just anybody does it, but we do it because we do have to straighten gates. It's probably a 350-pound hog. And we personally believe that, yeah, he probably should bend it. So he did bend the gate. The way that we do it, we're going to kind of show you real quick, is we'll get it in here with a tree, right? We'll figure out where the bend is at in the square tubing, and then we hook up a winch to a side-by-side, and then we just kind of ease it back. If you grab a big old chain and start yanking on it, odds are you're going to bend it way too far, and then you got to bend it back the other way. Not that we know that, not that we've ever done that, but yeah. So if you kind of take a look at it, it's not uncommon. The gates, this is an older gate, but even the new gates come apart really quick. In our trapping bag, we carry, you know, ratchet, wrenches, everything, and we're going to pop it back in because he did bend it and it would not function again. And we're going to straighten it back out, and that way we can get out of here and head to Missouri. So just a little quick thing on straightening gates. Okay, we got the gate back on, not a big deal, got it straight. What you're looking for on these older gates, some of you may not understand, that little square peg right there, it needs to be there, not hanging over this piece of angle. If not, you have what we call a hung gate. You also want your gate right here, equal distance. Now you're going to see that we got the trap back together. Looks pretty much like it did, which you didn't see it prior to the gate drop. So I'm going to walk you around and show you the distance between the panel and the gate. I'm sorry, the panel and the post. And that will show you exactly how far these hogs actually moved it. So we've said it in other videos, we like a oval trap, not necessarily a round trap. But pretty much through here in a straight line was where the trap ended up. And that's how it should look, right there. We like it about 1.5 feet off of our big pole. You get them much closer than that, coons will run these rails and they get up there and they'll aggravate your camera, and that's just what coons do. So we are fixing to load up. It's almost noon here, and Zeb's had 2 hours sleep. I had 2 hours, but then I had a 3-hour nap before it. So real hog trapping. We could show you just the gate drops. You know, that's exciting. A lot leads to the gate drops and a lot leads after the gate drops. And so anyway, onward and upward. Y'all hang on.